Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. Don't run, don't hide, don't be shy. Just like, comment, and please subscribe.
I mean, dealing with the stress, I mean, dealing with the pain. Getting trying to find a way.
No. No, bro. No. This was not it. This is not it, bro. This wasn't it. Chicago. I must say, when we first got Caleb, you see the highlights. You see how he looks when he does what we expect him to do. I don't know how you can't be excited to have him as a quarterback. But when Caleb isn't on point, it's so painful because you wonder why. Why is it that Caleb struggles with the consistency of his passing game? Now, if you guys don't know, or if you're living under a rock, I don't know why you'd be watching this video if you didn't know, but Chicago lost. Chicago lost to the Vikings 24-27 after having control of the game for 3 quarters and then magically, deliciously just handing their asses to the Vikings. And yeah, man, it sucks because, you know, when you look at the stats, and I'm not really like a stat guy, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a guy that's going to recite all the stats to you because I'm trying to give you this great insight. Usually when I'm giving you guys stats, it's just to paint a picture. It's just so that you guys are able to understand what it is that I'm trying to convey. Caleb Williams, that first quarter of the game, he was 10 for 10. Now, me personally, I was watching this in this first quarter, and I had a lot of hope. I had a lot of expectations for Caleb, and that was, I think that was my fault. My fault was having the expectations that Caleb and the Bears were going to come through and be different because they have done everything in their power to show that they are not trying to continue to be this laughingstock and that they are actually trying to compete for a Lombardi. Caleb was 10 for 10 in that first initial couple of drives. But what concerned me was there were several opportunities downfield that Caleb did not take in favor of getting the completion and getting the pass to whoever it was that was in the screen or bubble or whatever short throw that they wanted to throw. And it just felt like Caleb was trying way too hard to be too safe. And, you know, sometimes you do need to be that safe. Sometimes you do need to be able to protect the ball and make sure that you're just not making the mistake of putting the ball in jeopardy so that way you hurt your team and cost your team points. But it's a whole other thing when you're not using those safe plays to maybe set up a bigger play and essentially leave so much on the table to where now when you do need to make those crazy plays and when you do need to be able to chuck it downfield and when you do need to be able to secure and lock in that win, it's too late. The momentum has already left your side of the field and has gone to the Vikings. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't all Caleb's fault. Caleb was not the sole person who was responsible for why it is that while Caleb did have a lot of mistakes and while Caleb did have a lot of accuracy problems, when he did hit his targets, some of them were right on the money. I don't want to be as dramatic as a lot of people are acting, which is that Caleb can't hit anything. Caleb has zero accuracy. Caleb is not able to touch his targets. Like, I don't think that that's true. I do think that Caleb's accuracy takes a plummet whenever he sees pressure, but Caleb was having a lot of struggles, one because of his accuracy issues, but the other was because the O-line just flat out was not protecting him enough. There were some plays where they were significantly better than last year. But again, these were just flashes of a really good O-line. They weren't consistent the whole night. There were moments where you're watching this and you're like, man, you know, I knew that it was going to be, and I'm not just talking about the O-line when I say this. I'm talking about this, the entire offense as a whole, because our defense was fantastic. Flat out fantastic. If our defense was any less dominant than they were the first 3 quarters, we would have lost this game by a wider margin, or at the very least would not have closed it out as close as we did by the end. But let's call a spade a spade. I mean, this was not a good performance by the offense. I mean, beyond just the O-line and the protection, the penalties. I truly want to know what is the disconnect with the penalties and this O-line and the defense and the schemes, because this was a problem last year. Last year, I don't think that the offense was as complicated as what Ben Johnson is running now. So I would say that maybe last year, all of those pre-snap penalties was chalked up to probably just a lack of discipline. A lack of taking the play seriously, a lack of just overall having synergy as a unit. But this feels like a mixture between Caleb either struggling to communicate the plays, his O-line struggling to understand the plays, or just the offense as a whole struggling to understand the snap counts of their plays, which makes no sense, especially in the beginning. When we're in the beginning of the game, there should be 0 snap penalties because it's all scripted. 0 snap penalties whatsoever. The second half, we might see a couple of those because things that you guys are improvising. You're trying to be able to overcome whatever shortcomings you were dealing with in the first couple of quarters. But there should be no there shouldn't be this much self-harm coming from your offense. And there just wasn't a point where, and this is something else that I really want to stress, because yes, there were balls that Caleb threw that were very inaccurate, but there were also balls that he threw that were very accurate that just didn't get caught. That's just the truth. There were balls that didn't get caught. There were balls that were inaccurate. And all in all, you just look at this and you realize the Bears, we still got a ways to go. There was flashes of the talent that we are expecting to see from this team. And I do think that we will get there. But this was not a good showcasing. Our receivers are paid to receive. That means that when the ball comes your way, you got to catch it. Catch it. Caleb, you are a quarterback. You are the delivery man. And you need to deliver everybody's mail on time and in the correct mailbox every time. At this point, the not getting an interception isn't that much of a flex, because the completions and the type of completions you're making aren't that impressive. The stats look good, but the film doesn't. Caleb, you got to take control. The fact is that, yes, it might not be all your fault, but bro, you have a large portion of the blame because you did not step up the way that you needed to as a quarterback. You missed a lot of critical throws. You didn't miss every throw. You were accurate in certain areas, but the moments where it counts, and that's what the NFL is. The moments where it counts is when you need to come through. People will forget all about whatever shit you... Look at J.J. McCarthy. Threw a pick 6, came back, 2 touchdowns, rushing touchdown. What are we talking about? This was supposed to be your type of night. That's what was supposed to be talking about you. But you just You didn't pull through. Hopefully, I know that the Bears are going to be kicking themselves for this. I know that Ben Johnson going to be reaming their asses out for this, but pause. But hopefully, this is just a hiccup. Hopefully, they learn from this and we're able to recover. But we'll be getting into the preseason, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But I had to get this out there. But hopefully, you guys like this video. Let me know what it is you think. Let me know if you guys think that the Bears are doomed, or do you think that we're gonna be able to bounce back? I think we'll be able to bounce back. We just got to be able to, recover and get better. But hopefully, you guys like this. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys in the next one. Hey guys, it's Tony with the TD World. Thanks for checking out this video. Remember, don't run, don't hide, don't be shy. Just like, comment, please subscribe. See you next time.
For me dealing with the stress, for me dealing with the pain, trying to find a way.